Hi friends, this is Barb Pask. Going to paint for you again this evening. Doing something different. As you know, I'd like to work from life a lot, but I was looking through my photos. I live in Ohio and I've been here all my life, and home to me is farm scenes. Barns and farmhouses. So let me show you what I've done. I printed up some images I liked. This is one of them, and what I like most is that barn. Okay, and then I printed this image up. I like this house. So I messed around and I did a sketch incorporating the house and the barn. I may run a piece of the other building here. We'll see how things work out with my composition. Push the barn back behind the house a bit, like I believe it would be. Trees all up in here, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. I typically like photos that have all the information in them. This isn't something I do too often to, pull a piece from one. And we're going to try this. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll start off and we'll tone our canvas. Because there is a lot of green in this, I like to tone in a warm color, which that's generally what I tone with anyway, as you know if you watch me. Work on an 8 by 10 panel. I would have actually liked to win a little bit bigger. I thought about an 11 by 14. That's the next size up I would go. I didn't have any panels ready to go though. I did have a stretch canvas, but I wanted to work on the hard surface, so we're going little, and it's a lot of information probably for a little canvas, so we'll see how it goes. I want to welcome my new subscribers. I've been working hard to get new subscribers, and I really appreciate it. As you know, if you don't know, on my last video I painted a little painting of a ball jar with flowers, and I'm giving that away. If you're a subscriber and comment on that video, you'll go in the bin, draw your name. Going to give that painting away on May 13th. May 13th, that's when I'll announce the winner. So find that video too if you haven't. The title of it is just Oil Painting Giveaway. Make sure to subscribe and comment. All right, so got a nice orange tone on there. Now, if you've watched me paint before, as you know, a lot of times I don't do much of a drawing. I'm going to spend more time on my drawing tonight. I'm really not in any hurry. I'm not going to be in any hurry with the drawing. And if that's as far as we get, that's okay too. But I'm going to kind of use my sketches for the placement, so I don't get too large with anything. Once I kind of get the placement in, then I'll look at the photo and for the information that I need. I just don't want to get carried away and get too big. A lot of people paint mountains and they're beautiful. It's just not home to me. That's not what I grew up around, and some areas in Ohio have lots of hills, but again, farmhouses and barns and things are what I love the most. I mentioned last time I got a new DVD, Shelby Keene, and that's one thing she does do. She spends a lot of time on her drawing. So I think when you buy a DVD, you should see what you can get out of it, what might benefit you, and I thought it might benefit me to slow down a little bit, so. Got a metal roof, which I love. This kind of goes up at an angle. I think these photos were taken over in Hocking Hills, Ohio. It's an area in Ohio, southeastern Ohio, that my husband and I love to go to. Wonderful area to hike if you like to hike. There's 4 posts. I'm thinking about the placement of those posts. Here in Ohio, they're talking about starting to reopen some things on May the 1st. Give it 2 weeks, I think, and see how the counts do. And I don't think it's going down, though. From my understanding, it's still climbing, so I'm in no hurry to get out. I want to wait and see what happens. And then this little house has a piece that was added onto it. Which looks like a metal roof on it too. A little window. Again, I'm, not in any hurry here. Hopefully this won't be boring for you. And if we don't get very far along, we won't finish it tonight. We'll see how it goes. It's like brick down in here. And then it's got 2 posts out here. Not that I have to paint everything exactly as it is. It isn't a commission, so. And then I can't see the side of the house. There's a shrub here, so we're going to put it in. Now, I do a lot of pet commissions, and when I do pet commissions, I do not bring in animals from different references. I tell people they have to, if it's multiple animals, they have to be in one reference, because number one is the lighting conditions and the sizing. I had a friend that years ago, she did this wonderful pet commission. I think there were 5 dogs in it, if I remember right. And at the end of it, they would not take it because she had pulled them from different photos and the sizes weren't correct, in relation to each other. We may be covering some of this up. I'm just putting the tree line in that I see back in there. And then there's trees all up in here. And a bigger tree over in here. We might put the tree trunk in, we'll see. It's actually not in this view here, but we might. You know, we're doing a lot of things we don't usually do anyway. So, okay, let me switch to my photo of the barn. See where I've got it on my sketch. I'll look at the photo rather than my sketch. There are so many kinds of barns. They're so interesting. I'm always surprised when people let them fall down. You know, why would you do that? So much value to a barn. I'd love to have one on my property. Red barns are probably my favorite though. I think they sell better too. I think other people like them too. And there's a piece here where it's dark and here it's open. Trying to figure out, oh, I see. Wait a minute, I gotta look closer. This is on the front. And then the side runs off that way. Okay, this is in the front. You know, we'll have to do some interesting things down here in the foreground. This is a scruffy bush, so is this. Okay, I'm gonna look at my photo again and try to clean up my image of the house here. That's the chimney. And this is more of an angle. And again, we've got these metal roof. And there's a pathway there. And we'll have to watch where this tree line hits too on the barn, not to let it hit in an awkward place. And then there is a building here, which we'll see. I may or may not want that. There's a dead tree coming up here. Maybe we want that, maybe we don't. Tree trunks coming up here. And again, we may, even though it runs, it's more over into here, we may put that in. Okay, well, didn't spend a lot of time on it, but let's get going. I mean, you could use a pencil, and I have done that. You know, if you're sketching and sketch it on, you could get a T-square out and make sure all your verticals were very vertical. Whatever works for you. All right, let's kind of work on the house first. Let's put the darks in that I see first. It's not a sunlit scene. One sky is a bit more blue, but both kind of cloudy. There's more light in the building scene with the barn, so we're going to suggest more light on the front of both buildings. All right, let's put in our darkest darks. Pretty big brush for this small canvas. You can see part of a window on the porch and the door sticking out behind the post, and a bit of another window. And the window over there. Painting the darker side of the chimney. And we'll be making adjustments to our drawing as we go along. The roof actually looks to be, it's kind of a purple color. You know, and I could make this house any color I wanted, of course. You know, I could make it a little yellow house. I get really excited if I'm outside and I see a sunlit yellow house. Man, even white. I mean, when the sun's really hitting it, and it's pretty exciting. Going to go a little lighter and a little more blue as I go down onto the roof, because this would be catching more of a reflection from the sky. A little lighter yet. And we'll kind of suggest that it's a metal roof. I didn't grow up in an old house like this, but a lot of them around, and we did live in an old Cape Cod, my husband and I, for several years. It was really homey. It was one of the harder ones to sell, I'll tell you. And under the porch, even though it's a white house, it's a dirty white because obviously it's in shadow. If I were painting larger, this detail would all be more important, you know. But we're trying to do an impression of the house. You know, as I'm looking at this and this, I'm going to pull this more toward the purple color. And again, this bush covers a lot of that up, so we're not too worried about that. If you're new to my channel, I work in water mixable oils. They work just like oils. Got a frog tonight, but they're water cleanup. Okay, so the part of the house that is catching the light, let's lighten it up a lot. Yeah, it's push and pull. If we don't get it right, then we come back and adjust it. But for now, I'm going really bright. We're going to see what this looks like. One way to go at this would be to put the really nice clean light in first, and then you wouldn't dirty it up. If you're painting outside and you're painting plein air, the light changes so quickly that you typically have to grab shadow or light, one or the other, before it changes on you. You can do one or the other, whatever, you know. And I can see I don't have this dormer as wide as it is in reality, but again, I don't know that it matters. You know, this is not a commission. We're just having the fun. And this brush is pretty good size. We'll see how it goes. And it's got unusual porch posts. They're kind of diamond shaped. Let's see where that is. You know, and we may not like that shape. We'll see. And the addition over here is brighter toward the bottom, understandably. That's something you have to look for when you're painting from life too. Usually, even if it's a white building, it's going to be darker, like under here, than it is down here. It's going to lighten up, catch more light. It's going to be darker up in here. It's really early to be doing this, but I'm just trying to clean up the shape of these a little bit. They're actually, like I said, shaped like that, and there's a little piece up here. One down here. You know, and we may or may not like that. I'm sure that's unique to this house. Back in here would be this part of this building here. And that metal roof it's hard to say, it's much darker. Normally I'd block everything in real quick and then we'd come back and develop stuff, but I'm playing around the house a little more than I probably should be so early in the game, but it's all right. It's my painting, right? So do what I want to do. And then the front of the chimney, we'll see how this ends up looking, but obviously would be much brighter. It would be in the light. And we could be using a palette knife for this. That's too light a value to go back in there. That's on the side, so darken that up. And then the side of these are more in shadow too. The second chimney back here, but I don't think we're going to put that in because I don't think that would read right. That would be a window, and that's part of the door. All right, let's move on. We've got enough information there, I think, for now. Probably a little darker under there. And that's a metal roof too, so we're going to have to make sure at some point it does read like a metal roof. Again, that's part of the charm of this. So let's move on. I think what we'll do is we'll block in some of these greens. I got a lot of green. And we're going to start off with my favorite green, which is Indian yellow and ultramarine blue, which is a transparent green. And a fairly dark green. I'm going to put a little touch of red in there. I like to kill my greens, and the complement does that. So let's just block some of this in. We'll get some green on here where these trees are darker. And I don't mind if some of this orange shows through. I would like it to, matter of fact. That's why we put it on. In the spring around here in Ohio, everything, I've said this before, but things just almost glow green. So when you tone with a warm color like this, it kind of helps kill some of that vibrant green. We'll have to reintroduce that chimney cap that was there. We will do that. With this being a transparent green, the more you push it around, the more transparent it gets too. You can't see much of the distant hills, just a little bit, and we're going to want those to be cooler so they recede. And this bush that's here, the bottom of it is a darker value, as is this bush. Just kind of scrubbing them in. Gonna want them probably darker than that. And that little, I don't know if we want that little bush or not. It's there in the reference, but we may not want it. We'll see. Let me look at this. And again, you can't see much of this back in here, but I don't want it to just be there, so we'll bring it over into here too. It's a pretty blue-green. All right, let's block the barn in. Go back to my first dirty brush. And it's a white barn. I'm not going to change that. I'm going to go with that. Kind of a gray roof. I'm not a Twitter person, and I haven't been on Twitter in a long time, but I did go on there and share the link for the painting that I'm giving away. I had to go locate my password and everything. It's been a long time. I guess people are still busy using it. I don't know. I know Instagram is more the thing, but I haven't figured that out completely. I wish I could put links on there, but I think the only way you can do it is if you pay. If you know something different, tell me in the comments. And then there's a section that's attached that runs, it's on the front plane too. It runs across and over. Boy, I wish it would warm up here. I think we were like 50 today, and the wind was really going. It'd get here, and then all of a sudden it'd be hot, right? I joke that I just complain all year round. It'll be hot, and I'll be griping about that. Some of this is so tiny, I'm going to have to get a smaller brush out. This is actually a shadow. This part, one part up here kind of juts forward. A little lighter on the top, of course, where it's catching more sky. Yeah, this should have went bigger. We may do it again, and we may go on a bigger canvas next time. You know, I'm finding I'm having to get out a tiny brush to explain detail. How are we doing? Been 46 minutes. Again, we may not finish this tonight. We'll see. What's the rush? We may want to get our palette knife out. Easier to get a straight line with that thing. And these have to be put back in. I'm sure it's got a couple of, I don't know what they are, vents or something on top. A lot of barns have weather vanes. And then it's got like a leg here. Ooh, that didn't go well. Whew, gotten hot. Usually I'm cold. Oh, wow. I got a jacket on and a top on and my apron. A little overdressed, huh? We're just going to keep blocking stuff in. Instead of getting too picky with anything at this point. I've gotten kind of picky already, haven't I? Putting detail on the soften that line up. Can't really see what's inside there, but it does need to be darker than I have it. Probably what we'll do is just throw a little color in there. Nobody needs to know really what's in there. Oh, I'll tell you something I need to do too. Of course, that's a detail thing, but we'll probably mess this up when we put the sky in anyway. All right, let's block the sky in. Let's see how long we've been going. 51 minutes. We'll go a little longer anyway, and let's see how far we get. I'm going to mix up blue and white, and I'm going to throw a little yellow in there. All right. Yeah, we're just going to wipe those out for now, and we'll put them back in. Normally skies are a little darker toward the top and lighter toward the bottom. And we'll have to get some sky holes in on these trees. It's just all the block in. We'll pull them down so they're not catching light. One thing I don't have in here is there's like flower beds here. So we're going to want that dark. More of a foundation here. It's a tall barn, but it is a tall barn. I might have it a little taller, but all right. I'm thinking this could be up a little higher if that's a distant tree line. Let me see what I'm seeing with this barn. Okay, see, I've just cut the roof off there because I can't see it, and this other building comes in here. Now, do we want that? I got to make a decision on that, or I've got to explain that barn better. How would it look if we had another building cutting into here? I feel like we don't need it. So we've got to explain this building better. You know, if I'm not going to put that in, then you'd be seeing the side of this, right? Feels a little awkward, doesn't it? Yeah. Think about that. I'm making up stuff, and I'm just not good at making up stuff. Because if you look, this building cuts off the edge of that big barn, so I don't have the information there for that. Not sure how it would look to bring out. Let's wipe that out and see how that would look to, you know, bring a building in here. It'd be cutting down right about in here. Just to be like a piece of a shed. I'm not sure. It can come and go. You know, it's just hard to tell until you would get it in. Well, let's just get some green on here and then we may call it quits for tonight. We'll just get some color on there. Just want to put some pattern in here, kind of. And we have to decide if we want that tree trunk in there or not. Maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, we can still suggest some of the tree trunks up into there. You know, and I don't know that I like this little bush, even though it's in the photo. And I have made a decision on that. What do you think? Give me your feedback. Would you put the corner of that shed just sticking into this scene, or would you not? So those little beds, and there's actually, looks like a little rock edge on those beds. Don't know if we want that or not. A little bit of greenery in the beds, you know, as expected. We're just going to mix up a fairly vibrant green for the foreground. See if we like that. This is a tool by Princeton called a Catalyst. It's like a rubber palette knife, basically. Fun to play with, I'll tell you that. I'll probably be going over this with a brush, but still a quick way to get paint on the canvas. It's especially fun, like if you wanted to suggest graphs, you just cut into it that way. But you know, foregrounds can be challenging and sometimes boring. There's a sidewalk coming out there. I'm just going to paint this in for now, and I have made a decision on that, whether to put the edge of that building in or not. If not, I have to explain that, which I can do that. So I'm feeling like not. And we've got to brighten up this bush so it makes sense. see, doesn't that look fun? Not getting what I want there. Yeah, we'll probably, yeah, I gotta definitely give this some, this doesn't even feel right to me. I think what it is I'm not really seeing, I'm not seeing it accurately, I don't think. So I think this roof is on top of this little piece right here. Okay, that makes sense. And this would run a bit more of an angle. Okay. All right, we're going to quit there for tonight. That was about an hour. Yep. So we got the canvas covered. House is looking kind of cute. Got some issues with the barn. Got to get more variations of green in the trees. I'll stand up and show you. Again, please find my last video where I painted the ball jar. We're going to be giving that away. Like I say, I will give it away. I'll get on and announce May 13th who the winner is. It should be dry then and I can ship it out. So please catch that video so I can announce a winner and you can get back to me with your address. But like and subscribe, please. Tell your friends about me. Trying to build up subscribers to my channel. This is where we are. Colorful and happy, I think. Very painterly. Got some issues. Got a few drawing issues, and again, that barn is way undefined. So, yeah, we'll think about what else we want to do. You know, I may feel I need a tree here. I don't know. So, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. You have a nice evening and stay well.